Hey, what's going on everybody? It's DJ Sketch and welcome back to the channel. And today we're going to take a look at an NES game that I've only heard a handful of people talk about. Let's talk about Legendary Wings, the fantasy-themed shoot-'em-up released in arcades in 1986 and getting a USA exclusive release on the Nintendo Entertainment System in 1988, developed and released by Capcom. In Legendary Wings, you take the role of a soldier who's on a mission to save the world from a malfunctioning supercomputer. The plot sounds very simple, right? Well, at first you might notice that even in the first level that things and enemies are coming at you fast. Enemies waste no time in wanting to clip your wings and send you crashing back to Earth. And there are 5 stages in your way total to get through here. On the journey you can pick up P icons to power up your shots up to 4 times. The 4th consecutive pickup will turn your character into a turtle dove that can withstand 2 direct hits before powering down to the previous level. And here's the best tip I can give you for this game. Don't lose your power-ups. This is one of those games where you start out very weak as far as weaponry goes, but once you're powered up, you stand a way better chance of making it through each stage, but the enemy will be cunning. The stages kind of go like this. They're broken up into 2 main sections, the first being a vertical shoot-'em-up stage, in which, real similar style to games like 1942 series or Varth, in which you shoot up enemies on 2 planes, the being the sky and the ground. 2 more things. The big face tries to suck you in the middle of the stage. You should avoid that if you can, because if you want to go for, unless you're going for high scores, because this room contains no power-ups or any kind of thing to help you out, essentially. These rooms have none of those. And also when you're bombing ground targets, if you hit the right one or reveal the magic lucky room, this will be an underground tunnel that will suck you in, similar to the big face, but instead will be filled with treasure. So this is also great for points. These will also have power-ups, weapon power-ups, heart icons for continues. So these you want to grab as much as you possibly can. And those also you want to try to keep moving, because these are also auto-scrolling sections, so you will get crushed on walls if you try to get too greedy and can't get out of the way in time. The second section of each stage will send you through a corridor and a side-scrolling platform shooter section, which also have several floors and planes containing enemies and traps, leading to a supercomputer boss fight. These parts are notorious for getting hit and losing a power level or 2. You know, this, like I said earlier, don't lose your power-ups, because this will make the boss fight at the end significantly more difficult. The less powered up your character is, the harder it's going to be, trust me. And you can ask anybody that's gotten through most or all of this game, they'll tell you the exact same thing, I guarantee it. But if you can stay at max power the whole game, you'll have a much easier go of it. The bosses can get pretty tough, even though the first 5 have a very similar attack pattern. Just each time there'll be more eyeballs and projectiles coming at you, but they all tend to shoot where you were. So stay on the move and try to keep firing the best you can, and you should be alright. This is a pretty fun shoot 'em up for the NES, and it has a 2-player mode, but it will make the game slow down significantly. So if you run the game with a friend, be prepared for it to chug a bit, or a lot really. And as for running the game alone, as I mentioned before, just don't lose your power-ups and try not to get hit, and you should be able to make it through unscathed, hopefully. Oh, and the last boss is a real special thing too. This is going to teleport around you and will sometimes teleport right on top of you, so try to stay on the move and watch out for its 4-way shot, because those will track you too, much like the eyeballs in the past 5 boss encounters. Keep firing, and you've done it. Enjoy the fadeaway and credit roll, and you're done. Unless you want to run the game again, since also this is one of those NES games that loops for those that really want to go for high scores. So this one you can play infinitely if you really want to. And that's pretty cool. Legendary Wings is fun, but man, it is hard until you figure out the nuances of it. And rest assured, this is going to be one of those games that you're going to die. A lot. But with perseverance and a lot of patience, you can conquer this one. And for this one, despite the difficulty, I find this game really enjoyable, as well as the arcade coin-op, which is also available on the Capcom Classics Volume 1 on the PlayStation 2. Legendary Wings gets an 8 out of 10. This is one, if you have a Nintendo or anything that can play Nintendo games, I suggest picking this one up, because it's usually on the cheaper end. It's a fairly common game, but there's a lot of fun to be had, and if you're looking for a challenge, this will definitely give this to you in spades. So I thank you again for checking out these videos. If you find these helpful, that's awesome. I'm glad you can use these as a resource. And stay tuned, we got some more reviews coming up soon, a lot more shoot 'em ups, some beat 'em ups, and maybe even some old rail shooters, even arcade version this time. So stay tuned, and I'll see you on the next one. Take it easy.